Imagine being an Iranian naval commander in the spring of 2026, looking out over the glassy waters of the Strait of Hormuz. You have spent months seeding the seabed with enough explosives to turn the entire Persian Gulf into a graveyard. You think you have won. You believe the world's oil supply is finally at your mercy, and the great Satan is finally blinking first in this high-stakes game of chicken. But then, you see a small, gray dorsal fin slice through the water near your most secret, invisible minefield. This is the moment you realize you did not just make a mistake, you made a fatal one. You are watching the U.S. Navy's most classified and effective marine assets dismantle your entire strategy without firing a single shot. This is why you do not mess with American dominance, even under the waves. By February 28, 2026, the conflict between the United States and Iran had reached a boiling point that the world had not seen in decades. The Iranian regime, feeling the walls close in, decided to pull their ultimate lever of power. They flooded the Strait of Hormuz with sophisticated undersea mines, effectively choking off the lifeblood of the global economy. Over 1,500 commercial vessels were suddenly paralyzed, trapped in a maritime nightmare. The Iranian leadership was arrogant, appearing on state television to brag about their impenetrable wall of fire. They thought their mines were too advanced, too hidden, and too numerous for the U.S. Navy to handle. They assumed the Americans would rely on slow, clunky, robotic drones that struggle in the murky, high-clutter environment of the Gulf. They were dead wrong. While the Iranians were celebrating their apparent victory, the U.S. Navy was already activating its secret weapon from the Naval Information Warfare Center in San Diego. They weren't sending more destroyers yet. They were sending the elite members of the Marine Mammal Program. These are not your average aquarium performers. These bottlenose dolphins and California sea lions are the product of a program dating back to 1959, refined over decades of cold water operations. Let's talk about hardware. The Iranian regime loves to talk up their homegrown technology, but let's be honest, most of it is just repurposed scrap metal. They claim to have advanced sensors, but compared to a Navy Dolphin, an Iranian sonar system is like a literal tin can tied to a string. A Dolphin's biological sonar is the most sophisticated detection system on the planet, period. While a man-made drone takes hours to process data and can be easily confused by a pile of rocks or a discarded tire, a Dolphin knows exactly what it's looking at in milliseconds. They can identify organic material versus man-made metal, even when it is buried deep beneath the seafloor silt. It is a biological superpower that millions of dollars in research still cannot replicate. The U.S. Navy also deployed the Mk-18 Mod 2 Kingfish and RTX common uncrewed surface vessels to provide a multi-layered shield. This is what we call the red, white, and blue dome, a total security envelope that makes the Iranian defense look like a joke. Contrast this with the pathetic rumors coming out of Tehran about their own supposed Dolphin program. Back in 2000, Iran bought some retired Soviet Dolphins from Ukraine, thinking they could buy their way into marine warfare. As Secretary Pete Hegseth pointed out, those original animals are likely long dead or living out their days in a retirement home. Reports from the Wall Street Journal suggest Iranian hardliners are desperately trying to revive the program for kamikaze missions. Think about that for a second. While the U.S. treats its animals as high-value, voluntary partners, the Iranian regime can only think of using them as disposable ordnance. General Dan Kane hit the nail on the head when he said Iran is simply grasping at straws with these asymmetric tactics. They are terrified because they know their traditional naval power is non-existent. By April 23, 2026, Iran tried to sneakily lay new mines under the cover of a fragile ceasefire, thinking the Americans weren't watching. Little did they know, the U.S. was tracking every single movement from the shadows with total precision. The U.S. didn't just watch. They waited for the perfect moment to flex. Operation Project Freedom was launched in May 2026 with one goal: to reopen the strait and humiliate the blockade. As the first merchant ships began to move, the Iranian patrol boats scrambled to intervene. They expected to see the Americans struggling with minesweeping gear, but instead, they saw something far more disrespectful. They saw U.S. dolphins working in pairs, effortlessly marking the locations of every single invisible Iranian mine with marker buoys. It was like a master class in maritime dominance, and the Iranians had front row seats to their own failure. The dolphins don't even have to touch the mines. They just tap a paddle on their handler's boat to signal a find. It's a game to them, a high-stakes scavenger hunt that they win every single time. Imagine the panic in the Iranian command center as they watched their multi-million-dollar minefield being mapped out like a child's drawing. Their leverage was evaporating in real time as the world watched, the strait being cleared with surgical efficiency. The 22,500 stranded mariners started to see the path open up, a safe corridor carved out by the most elite swimmers in the world. The Iranian wall was being dismantled by animals that were having fun doing it. By May 4, 2026, the first merchant ships were transiting the strait under the protection of the red, white, and blue dome. The Iranian regime was left speechless. Their threats proved hollow, and their technology proved obsolete. Secretary Hegseth even teased the media about kamikaze dolphins, jokingly comparing the rumors to sharks with laser beams. This is the level of confidence you have when you know you own the water and everything beneath it. The U.S. Navy Marine Mammal Program proves that sometimes nature's engineering, combined with American training, is the ultimate force multiplier. The Iranians tried to play a game of 4D chess with a checkers mindset, and they lost everything. The aftermath was total humiliation for the Iranian Navy. Their commanders had to explain to their superiors why their secret minefield was now basically a well-marked tourist trail. This is a testament to the fact that American military patience is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of total confidence. We don't need to bark when we have the biggest bite in the ocean. Operation Project Freedom didn't just open a shipping lane. It sent a message to every adversary on the planet. If you try to block the path of the United States, we will find a way to make you look ridiculous. Whether it's a stealth fighter in the sky or a dolphin in the deep, we have assets you haven't even dreamed of yet, and we aren't afraid to use them to keep the world's oceans free. So, the next time an adversary thinks they can bully the U.S. Navy, they might want to look for a dorsal fin first, because by the time they see it, the game is already over. This is why the United States remains the undisputed master of the seas, from the surface all the way to the floor. No amount of Iranian posturing or desperate kamikaze rumors will ever change that reality. What would you have done if you were an Iranian commander watching your minefield get dismantled by a dolphin? Let us know in the comments below, because we love hearing how people react to American dominance. If you enjoyed this look at how the U.S. Navy uses high-tech nature to crush its enemies, make sure to hit that like button. It helps us keep the truth about American military superiority spreading far and wide. Don't forget to subscribe to Military Doctrine for more deep dives into the technology and tactics that keep our enemies awake at night. We have plenty more stories of total dominance coming your way very soon. Thank you for watching, and remember, in the air, on the land, or under the sea, America always finds a way to win. We will see you in the next one.